Welcome back to Capital Connections. I'm your host, John O'Connor. Let's now rejoin the community from the Monadnock region for this last segment from Bernie Sanders' town meeting as he addressed the criminal justice system and also the need to reform health care.
Very often, I don't want to go on forever in my speech, and I leave out important issues, and you guys are helping me get into them. When we look at what goes on in America, one of the tragedies is that we have more people in jail than any other country on earth. Did you know that? Now, nothing to applaud about, it's the cry of it. I know. Well, we got to get that out there. I know. And here's the story. It is disgraceful. And we have seen in recent years a huge increase in the number of people in jail. And it is bad for everybody. It is especially bad for minorities, the African American community, and the Hispanic community. In fact, there's according to the NAACP, I think, the estimate is, if you can believe, and just think what it means, what kind of tragedy we are talking about. A black male baby born today, if we don't turn this around, stands a 1 in 3 chance of ending up in the penal system in America. So what do we have to do? Well, first of all, you raised the issue of mental health, which is exactly right. That is a major crisis in America. I can tell you, and I think probably every other member of Congress can tell you the same thing. We get calls in our office. And the call comes, and somebody says, tell Senator Sanders that I worry very much that my brother is going to do something terrible to himself or to somebody else. We have desperately tried to get him into some mental health. We can't find the mental health that we need at a price that we can afford. That is crazy stuff. So we need a revolution in health care, which makes health care of all kinds accessible to people so they can walk in the door when they need it, mental health or non-mental health. Second of all, what we know, you talk to any police officer, you know what we do with people who are severely mentally ill in this country too often? We put them in jail. That's what we do. What sense is that? What sense is that? So we need to rethink our whole criminal justice system. We should not be arresting and incarcerating people for nonviolent crimes. Got to rethink the war on drugs. But basically, to answer your question, we need to treat people who are ill, whether it's mental illness or physical illness.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Capital Connections, your weekly access to politics and policy along the I-89 and I-91 corridors and how it impacts our region. If you have a comment or an idea for a future show, please email me. And please join us again at this same time next week for another edition of Capital Connections.